It's the morning of December 2025. A packed courtroom in Ernakulam waits for a verdict nearly 8 years in the making. Outside, television cameras are already rolling. Reporters rehearse their headlines. Supporters and critics stand only a few feet apart. Inside, a judge is about to answer a question that has divided Kerala for almost a decade. Not whether a crime occurred, everyone knows it did. Not whether the survivor suffered. That was never in dispute. The real question was simply, did investigators prove that the crime was planned by someone operating behind the scenes, or had they spent 8 years trying to prove a conspiracy they could never actually establish? Welcome to Justice Explained. I'm your host, and this is a space where law is no longer intimidating, confusing, or out of reach. Today we are examining one of the Kerala's most controversial criminal trials to ever exist. A case involving a shocking crime, a movie superstar, an alleged conspiracy, and a courtroom that ultimately asked one simple question: where is the proof? 17th February 2017 was the night that changed everything. The survivor, a well-known actress in the Malayalam film industry, is traveling from Thrissur towards Kochi. What happens over the next few hours would shake Kerala. According to the prosecution, a group of men intercepted her vehicle, gained control of it, and held her captive inside. The assault allegedly continued as the vehicle moved through the city. Investigators would later allege that parts of the assault were recorded. By the next morning, Kerala was in shock. The crime dominated headlines. Political leaders condemned it. The film industry reacted with outrage, and police launched one of the most closely watched investigations in the state's history. Initially, the investigation seemed quite straightforward. Find the men who committed the crime, arrest them, and put them on trial. But soon, investigators began exploring a more disturbing possibility. What if the people inside the vehicle were not acting alone? Every conspiracy case begins with a theory. The prosecution's theory, however, was that the assault had not been planned solely by the men who carried it out. Investigators alleged that a larger conspiracy existed, and eventually their attention turned towards actor Dileep. His arrest in July 2017 transformed the case entirely. This was no longer merely a criminal prosecution. This was one of the biggest celebrity trials Kerala had ever witnessed. The allegation was extraordinary. The prosecution alleged that Dileep had a motive. They argued that there was hostility between him and the survivor. They suggested that this hostility eventually led to a conspiracy to humiliate as well as attack her. But motive alone does not convict anyone, and if it did, criminal trials would be very short. The prosecution needed something more. They needed proof. Investigators believed one of the most important pieces of evidence involved an alleged meeting between Dileep and Sunil N.S., better known as Pulsar Suni. According to the prosecution, this meeting helped establish the conspiracy. A hotel, room number 410, a crucial moment, at least according to the investigators. But when the evidence reached the doors of the court, the theory ran into trouble. The judge found that the evidence could at best place Pulsar Sunil inside the hotel. It did not prove that he entered room number 410, it did not prove he met actor Dileep, and it certainly did not prove a criminal conspiracy was disclosed. For the prosecutors, this was a major trouble, because conspiracy cases are built like chains, and one broken link can weaken the entire structure. Then came one of the most dramatic chapters in the trial. Director Balachandra Kumar. Years after the assault, he emerged with serious allegations against actor Dileep. The prosecution viewed him as a potentially crucial witness, someone who could connect the dots, someone who could reveal what actually happened behind closed doors. But criminal trials are not documentaries. Witnesses are tested, memories are challenged, statements are scrutinized, and cross examination is relentless. The defense attacked his credibility, his timing, his motives, and his version of events. And when the court finally assessed his testimony, it was not prepared to place the weight on it that the prosecutors had actually hoped for. Meaning that another important link was unfortunately weakened. Then came what many believed would be the prosecution's strongest weapon, the digital evidence, phones, chats, hard drives, and deleted data. In modern criminal investigation, digital evidence often tells a story long after people stop talking. The prosecution alleged that evidence had been deleted, the electronic records had been manipulated, the crucial information had disappeared. If proven, such allegations could suggest an attempt to hide the truth. But the court found significant problems. One example involved a hard disk that investigators claimed contained important deleted material. Yet according to the judgment, that hard disk was never subjected to forensic examination. The court repeatedly questioned why such an important piece of evidence had not been properly analyzed. The prosecution also alleged that phones had been taken to Mumbai for deletion of evidence. The court found that the evidence did not support that allegation at all. Witness and forensic material pointed in different directions. What prosecutors viewed as suspicious, the court unfortunately viewed as unproven. And in criminal law, that difference matters, and it matters a lot. This is where the case becomes fascinating from a legal perspective. Many people think a criminal trial asks what probably happened. It doesn't. A criminal trial, in fact, asks what can be proven beyond reasonable doubt. Those are very different questions. The prosecution presented witnesses, phone records, alleged meetings, alleged motives, digital evidence, and years of investigation. But the court repeatedly returned to the same issue. The chain was incomplete. Key links were missing. Important allegations were not sufficiently corroborated. And suspicion, no matter how strong, is unfortunately not proof in the eyes of law. Finally, after nearly 8 years, the verdict arrived. The court convicted the first 6 accused, including Pulsar Soni, for their roles in the assault. But when it came to actor Dileep, the court reached a different conclusion. The prosecution had failed to establish the alleged conspiracy beyond reasonable doubt. The court held that there was no legally sustainable evidence proving that Dileep orchestrated or participated in the conspiracy alleged by the investigators. That did not mean every allegation had been proven false. It simply meant something narrower and legally something very important. It meant that the prosecution had not proven its case to the standard required for a criminal conviction. Perhaps the most uncomfortable truth about the case is that the courts do not decide what people believe. They decide based on what can be proven. The public may still have questions, investigators will definitely still have theories, supporters and critics may continue debating the verdict for years. But inside a courtroom, there is only one question that matters. Was guilt proven beyond reasonable doubt? And after 8 years, the court's answer was quite clear. The assault was proven, the conspiracy was not. And in criminal law, that difference can change absolutely everything. Until then, remember, this is justice explained because justice should make sense to everyone.